Hello and welcome back to the Healthy Drive. This will be episode number 10 and we are once again trying to get rid of misconceptions in nutrition, which is so very vital for us to be healthy. Continuing from last time, here is misconception number 6, that saturated fat, eggs and cholesterol cause heart disease and that meat causes cancer. Healthy fats, saturated fat, eggs, meat were very much a part of our diet all over the world till about 50 to 70 years back. In the 1950s and 60s, especially when the 6 country studies was published by a scientist known as Ansel Keys, who tried to associate the heart disease with saturated fat, that was the time when it was incorporated in the guidelines that saturated fat causes heart disease, and that has spread all over the world. This particular theory of Ansel Keys, which is known as the diet heart hypothesis, was never proved to be true and could not be replicated in future studies. In fact, in 2015, the USDA, that is the United States Department of Agriculture, and the AHA, that is the American Heart Association, clearly stated that dietary cholesterol is no longer a nutrient of concern. A recent publication in 2020 in the Journal of American College of Cardiology, which is known as a state-of-the-art review, says that saturated fats do not cause heart disease. Not only that, it protects against heart disease and strokes. So, it is simply not true that saturated fat causes heart disease. In fact, it protects against it. And as far as cancer is concerned, all the studies that were done which showed that red meat causes cancer was done with processed meat, and it is also true that these were food frequency questionnaires and the studies were associative. Association does not necessarily mean causation. Whether processed red meat causes cancer is not yet determined, but red meat per se is not a cause of cancer. There are numerous studies to prove it. So, it is a complete misconception that saturated fats are harmful for your heart, that red meat causes cancer. Misconception number 7, grains are heart healthy. So, grains are nothing but sugar molecules joining hands. So, whenever you eat grains, whenever you process them or whenever you cook them and mash them and eat them, what happens is they break down into their sugar, and that causes hyperinsulinemia, which is the root cause of all metabolic diseases, as you know. So, it is true that there is some amount of fiber in them, but the price which you have to pay to get that fiber is too much. For example, if you take 40 grams of oats for breakfast, as most people do, so in 40 grams of oats there is about 5 grams of protein and about 4 grams of fiber, but mind you, there are 23 grams of carbohydrates in that. So, to get a little bit of protein, you have to ingest so much of carbohydrate. So, that is a very heavy price to pay for calling grains as heart healthy. So, grains are not heart healthy because they are basically carbohydrates which later on break down into sugar and gives rise to heart disease in the long run. Misconception number 8, fasting is nothing but starvation. Some people are absolutely shocked when you tell them that you eat only once a day, which is what I do. They say that you are starving, but there is a difference between fasting and starvation. Fasting means just allowing your body to tap into an alternative fuel, whereas starvation is something else. Fasting and starvation are two completely different things. When you are fasting, your blood sugar level falls, as you can see in the picture, and it continues to fall. Now, mind you, it taps into the body fat as a fuel, and until there is body fat inside you, the muscle will not be affected. There is a very little effect on the muscle, as you can see in the graph. Only when your fat cells are exhausted will the body touch the muscle. So, fasting and starvation is not the same. Fasting means allowing the body to use fat as a source of energy, whereas starvation is when the body tries to use the muscle as a source of glucose, which may occur in a very abnormal condition like famine, and if a person does not get food to eat for a very prolonged period of time. Misconception number 9: ketogenic diets will kill you. Now, this is something which you must have heard in the media and which you must have heard so many people telling you. Now, there is a very big difference between diabetic ketoacidosis and a ketogenic diet or a state of nutritional ketosis. Most of the time people get confused between the two, hence this kind of advice is given. Now, diabetic ketoacidosis is something we come across patients of type 1 diabetes where the sugar level goes out of control, and this can result in a state of acidosis which is a medical emergency. But what we are talking about here is a state of nutritional ketosis where you lower the amount of carbohydrate that you take in your diet, which allows the body to tap into the body fat as a fuel, and this body fat breaks down into its end products which are known as ketones. Now, these ketones have multiple benefits for the body. They are good for the brain, they are good for the heart, and they are anti-inflammatory in nature. In fact, they have also been claimed to be longevity molecules. So, if you can keep your body in a state of nutritional ketosis, it will be very, very beneficial for you. So, no, ketogenic diet will not kill you. Ketogenic diet will make you healthier and give you a prolonged healthy life. Misconception number 10: vegetable oils are heart healthy. Now, there could be nothing further from the truth than this. First of all, there is nothing vegetable about these vegetable oils. These are basically seed oils. These seeds oils like cottonseed oil, soybean oil, rice bran oil, sunflower seed oil. So, these are basically extracted at a very high temperature of 1200 degrees centigrade. In fact, if you had a look at a factory of processed seed oils, it very much resembles a petrol refinery factory, because these seed oils, as I said, are extracted at 1200 degrees centigrade and then cooled down. They are deodorized, chemicals are added, and they are double refined, and once again colors are added, and then they are put into the supermarket and brought to your table. By the time they become very, very inflammatory in nature. They have a very high ratio of omega 6. As you know, a very high omega 6 ratios as compared to omega 3 becomes inflammatory. So, first of all, they are not vegetable oils, they are seed oils, and secondly, they are very, very inflammatory and has been known to be a direct cause of insulin resistance, known to be a direct cause of cancer also. So, it would be a very wise decision to take the vegetable oils, the white oils out of your kitchen. In our country also, the traditional cooking medium have been ghee, have been coconut oil, have been cold pressed oils of certain seeds only, which like sesame seeds, like mustard oil. But the other seed oils which are extracted at high temperature is something which is absolutely avoidable. They are nothing but poison. So, there you are. We have tried to get rid of certain misconception in nutrition. I hope you realize now how important it is. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and share this vital information with all your friends. And I'll catch you in the next one.